Hi, I'm Gina Zorzi-Klein, and I'm a member of the curriculum team here at American Reading Company. We are so excited that you are going to be trying out one of the units from American Reading Company's all-green ELA curriculum, ARC Core. My job today is to explain to you what you have and how to use it. So you will see you have received 3 boxes. And we're going to unpack the boxes and then talk about what you do with the materials inside them. So you'll see this box says open first. In this box you have a letter. This letter includes the link to a site where you can see all of the curriculum materials for every unit of the year, watch videos, and get more information about each portion of ARC Core. Next you have this. Each year of ARC Core includes 4 thematic units, each of which challenges students with rigorous tasks and rigorous grade level texts that culminate in a writing project that combines reading expertise, writing expertise, and content area research. Each unit includes both high-quality multicultural grade level texts and a diverse leveled library pulling from every publisher in the country to ensure that every student sees themselves and their community reflected in the books. We have sent you a sample from Unit 3, the Reading, Literature, Writing, and Analysis in a Literary Genre unit. In a full year of ARC Core, you would have already established routines for the ARC Core literacy block, read paired fiction and nonfiction, and then done an informational research unit. We've sent you Unit 3, a genre unit, because it best matches the standards you are focusing on at this point in the year. After this unit in ARC Core, you would culminate the year with an argument writing and research unit, paired with a social studies topic. In this first box, you have an URLA, and you have a sample from one small group toolkit. Now, one other thing to make sure you remember, keep your boxes, because at the end of this trial, you'll need to pack everything up and send it back to us. In this box, you have your teacher framework for this unit, Unit 3, your genre study. We sent you Adventure. And in your box, you have 4 bags of books. 2 of these bags are 1 copy each of books in this adventure genre at a range of reading levels. We call that your independent reading library. You have 2 bags of that. Over here, you have 2 options for a whole class text. The reason we sent you 2 is that every unit of the genre study is based around a whole group reading of a grade level text in the genre. But we work with districts to ensure that the whole group book you'll teach is a book that you want to teach. And there's more than one option. So for this trial, we sent you 2 choices. We sent you Hatchet, and we sent you Crossing the Wire. Because this is a short trial, we sent you 15 copies of each of 2 choices. When teachers actually implement ARC Core, teachers receive 30 copies of 1 core text. Or if your district has class sizes larger than 30, we work with you to ensure every student has a copy of the core. For these 2 to 3 days, we are hoping that you will pick one or the other text and have the students work in partners. So I took the books from the 2 bags that are labeled independent reading, and I organized them into all 3 of the empty purple baskets you've received. Now, you don't have to do this because you won't be leveling your students in this short trial, but I did organize the books in the 3 bins into below the 6th grade reading level, on, and above. How did I do that? If you look at the front of your ERLA, the ERLA shows you the color levels that correlate to each grade. And each book has a sticker that matches that level. So for example, this book has a white sticker, and I can see that white correlates with a 3rd grade level. You will find books in this collection ranging from the 2nd grade level to the 8th grade level for your 6th grade classroom. Every one of those books has been selected to match the interests and age appropriateness of 6th graders, regardless of the reading level. So I said that this bin includes books below grade level, and you'll actually find that this bin includes books at the 5th grade, orange, the 4th grade, black, the 3rd grade, white, and the 2nd grade, red. Because we know that in most 6th grade classrooms, there are students at a wide range of reading levels, and we want to ensure every child accesses books that they can read and want to read. So now we're going to take a look at the 2 to 3 lessons we recommend you try out using the materials we've provided and that align best with your standards. So this is your framework. The first thing to look at is this 9-week pacing guide. This outlines which standards will be taught each week of this unit, and it also shows you that the standards are taught and applied to text using the concept of Bloom's taxonomy, where we start with having students use reading standard 3 for literature, analyzing literary elements, and applying that to multiple texts in the genre, standard 9. And then, once they've done that for several weeks, they put that new learning into practice by writing a literary essay where they analyze the use of those elements. Then we go all the way up Bloom to creating, where students use their newfound knowledge of how the literary elements work together to communicate theme in this particular genre, to write their own short story in the genre. For this trial, we're recommending that you use week 1. But I want to point out to you that if you're having fun, you and your students, and want to try more, that weeks 2, 3, and 4, particularly 4, align perfectly with your focus standards. So let's go to week 1. Each week includes an overview of the focus for each day. Each day begins with the why. Here's the focus, and here is why this is worth doing. Now, each day of this framework is laid out the same way. You can see this ticker at the top that shows you the components of each day of the literacy block. And each page has a left-hand column that is an outline of what to do, and this gray right-hand column that explains why and how. One of my favorite descriptions of this handbook from one of our art coaches is that this framework is a teacher's decision-making guideline. We want each teacher to bring their personality, their interests, their knowledge of their students to every lesson they teach. So please understand that while these lessons are highly structured with recommendations of what you might say, we are not expecting that you will say that. We're expecting you will say what works best for you and your classroom. This is where you'll use the independent reading books. Now, these books are all novels in the adventure genre. So just like we were analyzing a whole group, an adventure novel together, now we're looking at other novels in the same genre, Reading Standard 9. One other point about these books is that if you have other adventure novels in your classroom or in the library, great. One of the first rules of American Reading Company is that every book is a good book, and we certainly would never want to limit you or your students to books with tape on the spine. At the end of each lesson is writing. In writing, there is a set the focus and time for all students to work on writing towards that focus. The types of writing will vary across the unit, but they're all in service of the end goals that 1, students write a literary essay comparing 2 books in the genre, and 2, that they write their own short story in the genre. So you'll see that each of the writing foci across the unit builds students' work towards those end goals. Now that we've shown you how ArtCore puts rigorous grade level text at the center of each lesson, we're going to talk about how we personalize learning by providing interventions that ensure every child succeeds. Instruction is differentiated to meet the needs of each student. When you use all of ArtCore, you will use the URLA to identify each child's reading level and the instruction they most need next to move levels. For this trial, we gave you just one of the small group kits. There's a small group kit for every reading level. We gave you one kit for a level that we're pretty sure most 6th grades, you'll have some students in your classroom who need this. So this is the black level. The goal of the black level is that students build their academic vocabulary so that they can handle more complex text. And they'll do that through reading both fiction and nonfiction and building their word analysis skills and their rapid fluency to finish chapter books. The beginning of each toolkit provides the research base, the why, for what you're about to teach. And then a series of lessons to teach each of the skills in that level. We have sent you the materials to teach lesson 22 and all the other lessons that go with this book. Each lesson in the toolkit has both a teacher-facing and student-facing. And the student-facing is also shown right here on each teacher page. These toolkits are intended for small group work. So we suggest pick 2 or 3 students who you know need to build their vocabulary and their ability to read nonfiction, and try this out with them. Because the research is pretty clear that once you have more than 3 or 4 students in a group, you might as well do it whole group, and not every student needs this at the same time. Each lesson is built the same way. We have a goal for the lesson, a preview, and word work, where students intentionally practice how they can use reading and word learning strategies to build their vocabulary. Now, I've mentioned the URLA several times today, and I want to just say a little bit about this and how you might try this out during your trial. The URLA is your reading specialist toolkit. It will help you eventually figure out every child's level, what they need, and how to teach it to them. So one way you might try the URLA out during this trial is think of one student where how to grow them as a reader is a little bit of a mystery. Maybe they're a struggling reader. Maybe they're an advanced reader. Either way, you can use the URLA to help you identify where they are and what they need next. The toolkits for every level are available on your electronic review site. We encourage you to use them. If you want to try the URLA with 1 or more of your students, there are instructions right in the front of the URLA on how to do it. And there are also videos on your review site of teachers using the URLA with students at a wide range of levels and ages. In closing, I want to say thank you. Thank you for trying ArtCore. I hope that this experience is fun, informative, and exciting for both you and your students.